Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis, and I always like to introduce also the team that God has gifted me with. First of all is my beloved Faith, who she's 18, she's legal now. Faith has been my assistant since she was probably in her mommy's belly, but she used to come and sit on the podium with me when she was a baby and do announcements, and then later became an usher and handed out affirmation cards after the service and helped with the children's church at one point, didn't you? Yeah. And so then she became my official assistant, almost 4 years ago. And we've been counting down the days till she turned 18, and she turned 18 a couple of weeks ago. So this is really cool. And she's the one who actually will be answering you when you say hi, hello, good morning, however you want to greet us. She knows me better than I know myself. So she answers almost every time. She answers exactly what I would say. And I always go back and look later just to make sure that, something else didn't need to be said. But she's pretty good. She grew up like 6 blocks away from my house, and she grew up kind of at my house. So she knows me pretty well by this point. But she's also our singer. And today we're going to be doing another Karen Drucker song.
If Love is Why We're Here on Songs of Spirit 4.
All right. Songs of Spirit 4. There we go. I like it when she introduces the song because I can never remember. Thank you for being here, Faith. We love you. And then there is my partner in crime since 1998, my first baby practitioner, meaning that he took all of his training through with me except for one class at Mile High, and then was my board president for, 11 years. I don't know. And then he moved off to Florida, and we lost with him for a little while, but he's back with us because this technology allows us to have him in our service with us again. So he is our practitioner of the day, which means he'll be praying us in and praying us out. And at the very end, he'll be available for our 1-minute miracle. So thank you for being here, Oz. We really appreciate you. All right. And so today's before I do that, let me introduce our ad hoc music team. We have Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver because she provides music for us. And we also have Karen Drucker, who has gifted us with her entire collection of CDs. And we really appreciate both of them so much. So thank you for being our ad hoc music team. If you would like, or if you're here, say hi, hello, good morning, however you would like. It's a great way for me to know who's here. I can look out into a facility and see. I can't do that here. Goodness, I have the burps. I'm so sorry. Also, the topic today is love of God and self, and particularly in that order, and I'll say a bit more on that later. And then let's see, if you want to do a watch party, there's a watch party button. It's a great way for people to know what kind of service they can expect when they join us on Sunday mornings. And it's a great way for you to talk back and forth if they have questions, because you can't bother anybody, right? You're at home. All right, so I'd like to invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
The presence of God right here, right now. For God is everywhere at all times. In the present, in the past, in the future, God is everywhere and in each of us. For God is what we think of when we think of the entire universe, what it has been, what it will be, and what it could be. God is continuously part of this process, for God is this process. We are passengers in this vehicle. And I know that this vehicle is rolling down the tracks, laying the tracks ahead of it as we go. I know this is a good thing, and I know that all blessings flow forth from this one great source that is in me, that is in you, that is in all of us. And for being part of this process, for this train rolling down the tracks, I give great thanks, and I let it be so, and so it is.
And so it is. That's the love train. Thank you, Oz. If you know the words to this next song, sing it loud and sing it proud, because you can't bother anybody. It is We Are All One from Fairy Lane Silver, Reverend Fairy Lane Silver. And it is our philosophy that we are all one, that we are all connected by it, through it, as it. So it's a great song. Here we go.
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I receive, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. Yes, we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it.
We are all one in it. Say hi, hello, good morning, however you'd like to greet us. Let us know that you're here. In a facility, I can look out and see the shining faces of everybody, but I don't have that ability here with this software, unfortunately. We do like to know who's here, so say hi, hello, good morning. Again, Faith will be the one answering you, but I always look over and make sure that there isn't something else that needs to be said. If you like something that I say, or that Faith sings, or that Oz prays, by all means, use that thumbs up button and let us know. If you love something you hear, send us hearts. We love to get love. And if something really strikes you as powerful, that feedback is really important to us. You can use the wow button, and that lets me know that we are on track, that the message is getting through. So we appreciate your participation in that. So without further ado, let me introduce Faith singing the Karen Drucker song, If Love
Is Why We're Here. is why we're here. Let me be an open channel. If love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. Is why I'm here. Let me be an open channel. If love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. Give is why I'm here. Let me be an open channel. If love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. Love is why I'm here. Let me be an open channel. If love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. Give and receive. Give and receive. If love is why I'm here, let me be an open channel. If love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. If love is why we're here, let me be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let us give and then receive. Give and receive. Give and receive. If love is why I'm here, let me be an open channel. If love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. If love is why you're here, let you be an open channel. If love is why you're here, may you give and then receive. Give and receive. Give and receive. If love is why we're here, let us be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let us give and then receive.
Thank you. Did you give up on the music?
Oh no, the music just quit. Good thing I'm in an a cappella choir, huh?
You have such a beautiful voice, so you pull it off just great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Faith. I love it when Faith sings. I do. All right. So in February, we like to do the entire month of love. We take different topics of love and we try to do those. Just like we do in, the month of November is all about Thanksgiving and gratitude, right? So February we've donned the month of love. And the first thing, like you hear people talk about first love God, then your country, then others, and then yourself. They've got that all wrong. I think it's God's self, then others, personally, because I think that you can't really love someone else until you love yourself, truly accept yourself for who you are. So that's the order we're going to do it in. Today's going to be the love of God and self. And next week, we're going to talk about the love of self and others. And then the week after that, we're going to talk about love of family and friends, because they're different. They're the same, but they're different. They should be all the same, but they're not. Let's put it that way. If you are being an agent of God's love, it doesn't really matter who the other person is, whether it's yourself or someone else, whether it's a friend or a family or a spouse. It shouldn't matter, but it does. For some reason, we have our different particularities that we choose for being agents of God's love. So my job is to talk to you about that, and to get us all on the same page to where we love everybody equally. God's love is really unconditional love. And most of us are not really familiar with unconditional love, because most of our lives we've been pre-programmed with conditional love. If you do this, I will love you more. If you do that, I won't love you quite as much. I was famous for when I wanted something from Lynn, in a joking way. I never meant it, but in a joking way, I'd say, I sure do love you. And he'd go, what is it you want? He knew right away that that's what I was doing. But that's pretty much what our actions imply. We don't actually say, I will love you more if you do this, or I won't love you as much if you do that. We don't usually say it, but our actions speak very loudly about that. And so I like to talk about the unconditional love of God, because we get mixed up. We don't believe in a wise judge in the sky, for example. We believe in an inner presence, and that's God that is unconditional. Now, some people say that's not very much warmth, because what that says is, I will love you no matter what you do, so I'm not going to rescue you out of anything. It's not like you can make a 911 call and God's going to come swoop down on some magic carpet and save you. That isn't how this works. Oops, I'm losing my notes here. Sorry. It didn't jump as far as I thought it did. Now I went too far back. Okay. How it does work is that we are born with free will. And because we're born with free will, God is absolutely willing to let us do whatever we need to do to make mistakes and love us through it, right? Much like a mother loves her child through all the mistakes. Not that we believe in a mother God or a father God. We believe in that inner presence, which is a divine intelligence. But it is an unconditional love, very much like that of a mother, where no matter what mistakes we make, God's love is already provided. It's not like we can lose that love. It's not like we have to earn that love. It is already in us and through us. So I found this definition of unconditional love that I just love, and it says, it's a concept that means showing love towards someone regardless of his or her actions or beliefs. It's a concept comparable to true love. It's a term which is more frequently used to describe love between lovers. By contrast, unconditional love is frequently used to describe love between family members, comrades in arms, and between others in highly committed relationships. It has also been used in a religious context to describe God's love for mankind. In conditional love, love is earned on the basis of conscious or unconscious conditions being met by the lover. Whereas an unconditional love is given freely to the loved one, no matter what. Conditional love requires some kind of finite exchange, whereas unconditional love is seen as infinite and measureless. Unconditional love should not be mistaken with unconditional dedication. Unconditional dedication refers to an act of the will, irrespective of feelings, e.g., a person may consider a person they have a duty to stay with. Unconditional love is an act of the feelings, irrespective of will. And that's one of those things where we get confused about love and duty and all of those things. If we feel like we have to stay with someone because we made a commitment or something like that, then the love doesn't flow easily from us. It's more of a, okay, I love you, but I really don't want to be around you right now, but I'm going to do it because I said I would. And that's not the same thing as unconditional love. Unconditional love means you love them no matter what. And, there is some, like Dr. Fred used to say, we can't do unconditional love, but we can practice it. Nobody's perfected it, obviously, except for Jesus, maybe. Nobody has perfected that unconditional love. So that's why we call it practice. So we're going to practice unconditional love. We're going to practice until we get perfect, right? Harold Becker, W. Becker, who's the author and founder of the Love Foundation, defines unconditional love as an unlimited way of being from his book of the same title. Becker goes on to say that we are without a limit to our thoughts and feelings in life, and we can create any reality we choose to focus our attention on. The qualities of love are endless, and the expressions are infinite. The power of unconditional love is within each one of us. Unconditional love of self is the concept of loving yourself regardless of external conditions. This includes not denying yourself your feelings in favor of others. Ultimately, in this action, a person will have to move away from others who do not love them without condition, or they have to teach them to love in that way. This idea could be considered imperative for increasing the amount of love one feels if a person is looking outside themselves for love. They may never find unconditional love or even enough love to be happy. Unconditional love itself is considered the foundation for unconditional love. Because of this, once a person is able to love themselves without condition, they will be able to love others without condition. Some gurus and teachers would describe this as an overflow effect, as if the person is overflowing with love, or without the unconditional love of self is most often used in conjunction with self-acceptance as a way to bring the self to a place of well-being and self-understanding for many people. This is not easy to understand, probably because people have used the term to demand more love from a person than possible for that person to give. And when the person in demand was unable to fill the expectations of the other, were accused of not loving without condition. This is a false definition that would actually be more synonymous with guilt or guilt trip. It is difficult or impossible to define unconditional self-love or unconditional love. When people put expectations on it, they can ultimately end up in disappointment. In other words, God's love for a person is irrespective of that person's love for God. It is irrespective of how we act, what we do, what we say. God loves us no matter what. Okay, buddy, thank you. God loves you no matter what. Oh my goodness. All right, that's enough. There's nothing to bark at, buddy. Believe it or not, that is a bird, not a dog. He was raised with a small dog. I think it was a Chihuahua. So he barks like that. Buddy, enough. I'm working here. We'll see if that works. God loves us no matter what. There is no race, creed, color, orientation. There is no preference for any of that in God's love. God's love is the same for everybody, no matter what. No matter what we do, what we say, what we think, it's always there. Now, the beauty of that is, I have self-will, which means I get to make my own choices. Sorry, I'm trying to read my handwriting here. And no, I'm always loved. On the other side of that, what people find to be less than probably fuzzy, warm and fuzzy about that is that God isn't going to be like a mom or dad that swoops us up when we're in trouble. And some people find that a bit cold. I don't personally. I think it's much better that I know that I'm loved no matter what mistakes I make, and that if I fall down and scrape my knee, I can pick myself back up and know that love is there, whether I'm on the floor crawling around or if I get up and walk. And so when I talk about God's love, that's what I'm talking about. It's that unconditional love that says it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. I love you anyway. And I think that as a practice, we can learn to do that. I don't know that we'll ever be completely 100% of it, but I think that's really our mission on earth, is to reveal more of God's love here on earth. And so I like to say when we do this, this particular part of this of February, I like to say that that's what we're practicing, that we're working towards being that vessel through which God's unconditional love moves through us to another person. I used to have this practitioner in my church one time that had someone that she worked with that she just really did not like at all. And I kept saying to her, just love her, just love her, just love her. It'll work. Eventually, you'll get there. And she kept saying, I don't want to love her. I don't like her. I don't want to have anything to do with her. And one day in a meditation, I got this aha. And it was, you don't have to love her as a person. What you have to do is let God's love flow through you to her. And once I explained that, she was absolutely happy to do that. She goes, I could do that. And they now have a really good working relationship. At least last time I talked to her, they had a really good working relationship because she was able to let herself be that agent of God's love, to funnel God's love in through the head and out through the heart to this person. And so we have so many opportunities on a daily basis to do that. You know, the people that cut us off in traffic, or jump in front of us at the grocery store line, or someone who says something to us that's critical. We have all those opportunities to just open ourselves to the funnel of God's love in through our crown chakra and out through our heart to that person. And, you know, what's really true is that God's unconditional love flows, and you don't have to do anything other than just open to that. It doesn't, you know, require you to be around them or even to spend time with them or like them even. It's just pouring through us that we allow ourselves to be that conduit. I don't even have to like anything that you do. All I have to do is hold the space for God's love to be there, to be shining your direction. And that's all I need to do to be in unconditional love. So I like to ask people to participate with me this week. Can you do that? Just look for those opportunities, you know, like the person who jumps in front of you when there's 50 people in the grocery line. Don't you just love that? Anymore lately, it's so interesting because I like to do the self-checkout. And there's been times lately that the line has been very long, going all the way down the aisle of food. And I usually have one or two items. And I just focus on the love of God. You know, I just focus on that and allow myself to be that open conduit. And it's not like I'm trying to manipulate people. Please understand. I'm really just doing it from the depth of my heart, because it's better than sitting there and getting anxious about not being able to get through the line. But what's been happening to me lately is they keep passing me up the line. People will say, oh, go ahead, go in front of me. Oh, go ahead, go in. And pretty soon I'm at the head of the line, you know. It's kind of nice. And I'm not doing anything, and I'm not doing the pitiful thing. I'm not, you know, I'm not asking people to do that. I'm just focusing on the love of God and being that open conduit through which that love flows. And so there's always room for that. Will you participate with me this week on that? And then I have this quote from Joel Goldsmith, transitioning from the love of God to the love of self. This is a perfect way to transition. He says, and this is the title of this one is Doing Unto Others. There is no room in spiritual living for persecution, hatred, judgment, or condemnation of any person or group of people. It is not only inconsistent, but hypocritical to talk about the Christ in our great love for God in one breath, and in the next breath speak disparagingly of a neighbor who is of a different race, creed, nationality, political affiliation, or economic status. One cannot be the child of God as long as he persecutes or hates anyone or anything, but only as he lives in a consciousness of no judgment or condemnation. That's easier said than done, by the way. The revelation of oneself enables us to see that God is our selfhood, and that anything of an erroneous or negative nature which emanates from any individual has power. Duchess, has power only in the degree that we ourselves give it power. So it is that whatever have good or evil we do unto others, we do unto the Christ of our own being. Inasmuch as you have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. He loves to quote from the Bible. In that realization, we shall see that this is the truth about all men, and that the only road to a successful and satisfying life is to understand our neighbor to be ourself. We create our own good and we create our own evil. God does not do either. God is a principle of love. If we are at one with that principle, then we bring good into our experience. But if we are not at one with that principle, we bring evil into our experience. Whatever is flowing out from our consciousness, that which is going forth in secret is being shown to the world in outward manifestation. So what that basically boils down to is that we are mirrors for each other. And when someone approaches you with something, for instance, I had this lady in my congregation who was a retired English teacher. And I would come off the podium, and she would immediately begin telling me where my grammar was incorrect. And, it would be really easy to just get mad at her and take it out on her. But I knew that if I wanted her to stay in my congregation, I couldn't do that. So I would say, thank you for sharing. And I would go home and I would think about this. Anything that someone says that upsets us is ours. It's not theirs, it's ours. If it upsets me, then it's mine. And it's because I either believe that what they're telling me is true, or I have a fear that what they're telling me is true. Now, in her case, what was going on with me is that when she would correct me like that, I would feel as if I didn't have a right to be up there on that podium. That was my insecurity. It had nothing to do with her. My insecurity was saying, well, I don't have a degree in English. I don't, I'm not speaking well. I'm not doing a good job. And ultimately, I had to come to the place where I would accept myself and realize that when I speak from the heart, grammar is not that important, that I earned the right to be on that podium by going through the schooling that I did go through, by all of the trials and tribulations I've been through in my life that have groomed me to be who I am, that I had the right to be up there. When I came to that realization that I was perfect and good enough just as I was, she stopped saying things. I mean, she was still there, but she slowly petered off. And until one day she wasn't saying anything at all about my speaking. And that was the moment that I realized that it had always been about me and not about her. That it was my own insecurities, my own what we call self-talk that was making me not speak perfectly. Or to bring her into my world so that she could show me where I was doubting myself, right? And that's the way it works. Now, please understand me. This is not don't walk up to somebody and say, if you're upsetting them, don't walk up to them and say, I'm just being a mirror for you. Please don't do that. I had an occasion where someone did that. And I got to tell you, I did not get the message for like at least 2 years of what she was trying to say to me, because I was so busy in reaction to her that I couldn't hear the message. And usually in the moment, it's hard to hear the message from someone else. In the moment, all you can do is say, thank you for sharing, and move on. And then you look back on it and you say to yourself, what in me believes this, or what in me is afraid that this is true? And when you do that, you will find at the heart of all of this is something that you are telling yourself. And this person showed up to stand in the projection of what you think about yourself. Now, they show up in a good way also, to show you the good things. But the problem is, if you're so focused on the negative things that they're representing to you about yourself, then you will never get to the place where you have the good show up, because you are busy negating every good little thing that comes by focusing on the bad. Remember, our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, says, change your thinking, change your life. And what we think about, what we focus on, we create more of. So if I'm focused on all of the negative things that someone is saying to me or other people are saying to me and how I feel about that, if I'm focused on that, then I create more of that. I draw more people into my life that are going to show me that. And if, in fact, I am willing to focus on the good things that I would like to see, if I am willing to focus on the love of God and the unconditional love of God, if I'm willing to do all of that work, then there's room for me to see the good that they are representing to me. For instance, my sister represents love to me. And so she shows me where I love myself. Isn't that interesting? Like, I know she loves me. I know that's part of the deal of being a sister. Oh, hi, Shauna. Another one of my family, my niece, who also represents her, who shows me the places where I love myself. That's very nice. Anyway, so what we want to do with any information that we get, in good, negative, however you want to look at it, is we want to look at where those beliefs are housed within us. So that if they're saying something good to you, you realize that is the goodness within you that is out picturing in attracting someone to you that will show you that. If you are having self-doubts and you are worried about your, whether or not you are a good person, or whether or not you deserve this or you deserve that, then you're going to attract to yourself those people who are going to show you that they don't have any value for you or respect for you or anything like that. And, as always, even though this is the month of love, as always, any one of my topics can be used for any situation. For instance, health is another one. You have all these doctors coming at you with these diagnoses, right? And they're showing you where you're afraid that what they're saying is true, right? And what's really true about that is that we walk around saying to ourselves, I'm sick and tired, I'm sick and tired, I'm sick and tired. Well, of course you are. The greatest affirmation you can use is I am. So when you're saying I am sick and tired, that's what you're going to outpicture in your world. And so instead of saying that, if you're working on health, again, you want to focus on the good. So what do I want to see in my life? Do I want to see, like in my case, remission? I've been working on this for 6 years. And really I get a little bit of progress, but nothing real significant. And I started focusing on what I wanted. I wanted to feel healthy. I wanted to be able to exercise. I wanted to be able to enjoy my life. I wanted to be able to not have to sleep 24/7. I wanted all of those things for myself. And up on Facebook pops this doctor talking about how your cells do not have enough energy. And that's why you're fatigued when you have an autoimmune disease. And so no matter how much thyroid medication you take, it's not going to be able to get into the cells because the cells are damaged. So I got introduced to this program, autoimmune protocol, that I've been on for the last couple of months. And the object being, at the very end, I will be in remission from my Hashimoto's. And so it just popped up. And that's because I was focusing on what I wanted instead of focusing on how tired I was, or how much my legs hurt whenever I would walk, or how I just was so depressed that because I couldn't have a life. Instead of focusing on those things, I shifted my focus to what I wanted to feel. I wanted to feel good. I wanted to be able to dance again. I wanted to be able to do yoga again. I wanted to be able to walk in Costa Rica up and down the mountain. I wanted to be able to do those things that used to bring me so much joy. And I'm not able to do those now. So this program pops up, and I immediately felt it just hit me exactly in the right way. In my heart, I was aligned with that truth. And so I jumped on it. And I've got to say, I do feel better. I'm not fully recovered. I've got two more months of a little bit of craziness to go. But I am experiencing less pain. I'm experiencing less fatigue and all of that. So it worked for health. The other thing it works for is finances. If I'm so focused on what money I don't have, like Dr. Ernest Holmes said, what we focus on, we create more of. If I'm worried about money all the time, then money's going to be a worry. If I'm focused on what life will be like when I have the money, not like going out into the future, but just saying, like, what does it feel like to have that money? What is the experience of having that money? And when I'm focused on that, money just walks in the door, just out of nowhere. all this talk on tech talk right now about the law of attraction and manifestation that's going on. One of the things that they're talking about is quantum leaping, because there is no yesterday, tomorrow, or now. It is all the same thing. And so when you're quantum leaping, what you're doing is you're focusing on what it feels like to be that person already. Whether we're talking about love or health or money, it all works the same way. And so when you focus on what it feels like to be that person and you allow yourself to merge with that person, you have now quantum leaped, is what they're starting to call it. Quantum leaped into that self that has the things that you are feeling like you're lacking in this reality. So all of that being said, what I'm trying to get at is that the love of God and the love of yourself, the unconditional love of yourself, is going to get you where you want to be. The focus on what is missing is not going to get you there. And so if you can spend all of your time courting that presence of God, now that doesn't mean you have to sit in meditation hours and hours and hours. What that means is, like I said, someone cuts you off in the grocery line and there's 50 people ahead of you all of a sudden, and you are freaking out because you have to be somewhere. Shift your focus. Take it off of that line. Put your focus back on God and watch miracles begin to happen. If you are experiencing lack of funds when it comes time to pay a bill, for example, take your focus off of that and put your focus back on God. God is my source. There's an infinite number of ways in which God can provide revenue to you. Your job is not your source. Your bank account is not your source. Medicare, Social Security, none of those things, Medicaid, none of that is your source. God is your source. And because God is your source, you have many avenues that are open to you, pathways through which God can provide that financial abundance to you. So that's where I want you to focus your attention on. If you're having health challenges right now, again, take it off the health challenge. Allow yourself to feel what it's going to feel like when you are healthy. What is it going to feel like when you can go to the gym? And even one of the things I'm celebrating is the day that I can go get on a treadmill and be able to walk. Just even that to me is joy. And so I focus my feelings on that. I allow that to be the feeling that drives me. And that's when you have shifted your focus, that's when things are going to turn around. So if you want miracles to happen, focus on the love of God and unconditional love of yourself. And I guarantee you, your life is going to change for the better. Will you do that with me this week? Will you focus on God and the unconditional love of yourself? Just this one week, every day this week, all the opportunities. Will you do that with me? Let's have a prayer. So right now, I turn my awareness to that infinite power, that infinite presence that is God. To that place within me beyond human understanding, just how powerful, how present God is. For God is simply all there ever was, all there ever will be, and all there is here and now. And so that's where I find myself, in the midst of God, my very essence, my very life, my very being. It is who and what I am. And every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that ancient wisdom of the ages that is within me, that flows within me, God's wisdom. I know that same truth to be so for this team that God has gifted me with, for Faith and for Tina and for Oz and for Lynn, for Karen and for Elaine. Because I do know that that same ancient wisdom of the ages is what flows through us all. And every action, every deed, every thought is led and guided by that wisdom of the ages that lives within each one of us. We are connected by it, through it, as it. And so I know that same truth to be so for each person who is viewing this, whether that be in real time or later on. Because we are connected by it, through it, as it, forever. Always have been, always will be, all we are right now. And so that wisdom of the ages guides and leads us. That God presence that is within us, powerfully expressing through us, for we are all one. Mitaku Easin, all my brethren, we are all one. So I bless this coming week, because I know with all the possibilities for growth out there, for the opportunities to be able to look within and see God and unconditional love of self, that we practice that this week, that we open to those possibilities and we jump into the moment of that with both feet. And I know that miracles happen as a result. And so I know that same truth to be so for every name that is in the ministry of prayer today. Because God is the power that can undo those conditions. God is the source of all good, whether that be love or finances or health. God is more powerful than any condition. And so I pull back that veil right now, revealing that truth here and now as good and very good. And I claim it in their names. I call it forth. And I call it good and very good as I claim it for them. And with that, my heart fills with gratitude to know that this is so, to be of service in this way. And I just let it be. And so it is. Amen. Alrighty then. Back to the real world. Actually, the real world is the other world. This is just the, what would you call it? A dream. This is the dream world. But right now is our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to express your gratitude for that which you have already received and that which you have already created in the mind of God but may not see in this physical reality yet. It is on its way, I promise you. And so I'm going to invite you to go to www.oasiscsl.org as listed on the screen here and in the comments and say the offering affirmation with us in just a minute. But I want to talk about the little contribute now button that is on the underneath that. Because what you're contributing to is not a salary or a facility or anything like that. You're contributing to the message of God getting out into the world. We are already a global community. We have people that join us from all different countries, mostly Germany, Holland, and England right now, well, the Great Britain. But we do have some other countries that are not English speaking, which I find wonderful that they tune in. But it costs money to be able to get God's message out into the world and to become more of a presence in that global community. Because the object here is to change lives through God's message. And that's what we want to do on a global scale. So when you hit that contribute now button, that's what you're actually doing. So please go with me to oasiscsl.org. And about 2/3 down the page is our offering affirmation. Please say that with me now, whether you're viewing this in real time or later on. Join me in this. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is. Hit that contribute now button. And please know that we have a ministry of prayer that includes licensed practitioners from coast to coast that will pray every day on those requests that are sent in. So if you would like prayer for something, please put it in the comments section. If you won't want it to be public, you can DM either myself or Faith, and we'll make sure that it gets on the prayer list, which is our private group Facebook page. and for our what we call our God Squad. Now, these are usually licensed practitioners, but you do not have to be a licensed practitioner to participate in this particular thing. As long as you're willing to do affirmative prayer, meaning we don't beseech God, we know the truth, and you're willing to keep those requests confidential, and you're willing to do that prayer every single day for every person that's on that list, then you can type yes in the comment section, and Faith will add you to our God Squad list on that private group Facebook page. And if you would like to get more information about what we're doing, and if you want to be the first to get that information, you can join our online community by typing more in the comments section, and Faith will get you added to our public group Facebook page, and that will allow you to talk between everybody that's in that community. And also I want to say at the end of the service, Oz is going to be available for what we call our 1-minute miracle. It's not a time for counseling, but it is a time where you can share with him whatever condition you are experiencing, whatever situation, and he will stop, drop, and pray with you right then and there. And you can reach out to him through video chat. If he's not available right away, it means he's on the phone with someone else. So please call back later. Okay. Our licensed practitioners are available for a fee for spiritual guidance as well. And so you just reach out to them either by their Facebook or go to our website so you can see who our practitioners are. And then you can reach out to them, and they will let you know whether you're going to be paying by PayPal or Cash App or Venmo or something I just found out about called Wire. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, Wise, or I thought Wise.
Is it Wise? I thought it was Wire. Anyway, that's how the Europeans are doing it these days, apparently. Raymond got locked out of his Venmo, so he's sending it through. I think it's Wise. Is it Wise or Wire? I don't remember. Anyway, so there's that too. So our practitioners get to determine which way they will accept payment, and they will set an appointment for you. And then on the appointed date and time, they will reach out to you by video chat. So Brooks and Bailey. There we go. Here. It's always tricky getting to all of this stuff back and forth. So all of the proceeds go to Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue. She has wonderful handmade malas and bracelets. You can reach out to her, Brooks and Bailey 0307 at gmail.com, or she has a Facebook page. But let me show you my beautiful mala beads that she did for me. These are amethyst. I don't know if you can see. This particular one is $60 because I requested an amethyst, of course. It's purple. But she has other gemstones, and the price differs according to the gemstone that she uses. So her bracelets are wonderful also. They have a clasp that's like a circle with a bar through it. And that bracelet has only come loose on me one time in the last couple of years. So that's a record for me. Okay, Faith.
And go check out the Mystic Brew. We will be doing a little special for Valentine's Day. So make sure that you're following our social media so that you can find out what our flash sale is going to be. It's at the Mystic Brew 303 on Facebook as well as Instagram. And like I said, you can order through our website. The Etsy store is no longer active.
Okay, thank you. This is what Faith made me for focusing on my prosperity intention, my little intention jar. This was $15, right, Faith? Yeah. And as an adjunct to that, Angel Renee has these intention candles, which are $25, and an intention tea bag that you put in your bath so that while you're sitting there focusing on your intentions, all of the aromas from all the herbs help you focus on those intentions. And I believe the tea bags are $10 through her Etsy store. All right. And so Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver has wonderful CDs. And so a great gift for Valentine's Day would be one of her CDs. She has some really, really awesome stuff. You will have to reach out to, you can go to her website first, which is listed on the screen. No, it's not. It's in the comment section. And you can get to her website. You can see what CDs she has available, but you will have to reach out to her through email because she travels all over the country, and she carries the CDs in the trunk of her car. And she can't update her website for some reason, so she can't change the way you pay. So you'll have, there it is. It's on the screen now. So if you would like to buy something for your significant other for Valentine's Day, this would be a great gift. She has some wonderful, wonderful CDs. And so go to her website, see what CDs are available, and then get in touch with her by email and find out how to pay her for that. And she'll send them to you. Like I said, she drives around with them in the trunk of her car. I know I witnessed it because I bought some out of the trunk of her car. And then Karen Drucker, her website does work. Another excellent source for a Valentine's Day gift. For instance, the CD that the song we sang today was from, Songs of Spirit 4, is a great, any of her songs of spirit are great, like chant songs that are really good memes to get stuck in your head. So her website does work. You can go on there. You can purchase one song. You can purchase a CD, a songbook. Some of the songbook pages have American Sign Language. I don't know what it is with me. By the time I get to announcements, I can't talk anymore. I think I use up all my words and then I'm tongue-tied. All right. So go to Karen Drucker or Fairy Elaine Silver's music and get something for that significant other or for a family friend or a family member or a friend for Valentine's Day. Then check out our website, www.oasiscsl.org. You can see our sermons, the ones that we've saved that have been on Facebook the last couple of years are there. And then we also have sound files from years prior. We are also on YouTube and SoundCloud. YouTube has the videos. SoundCloud has the audio versions of everything. And it's under S. Tucker. So look at that. But on our website, you can see activities that we've done in the past, some of our picnics. You can get to know the people that are in our church, just so that you feel more of a part of the community. So check us out often. All right. We are going to do our last song of the day. Again, if you don't know the words, learn them. It's a great meme to get stuck in your head. If you know it, sing it loud and sing it proud. It is a great way to bless your life.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
as we go forth into the week, I know that God in us, as us, is us, acting through us and all around us. I know this is good and very good, and I give thanks that it is so, and so it is.
And so it
It
is.
is.
Thank you so much for being here. I know there's 1,000 things you could be doing on a Sunday morning. We're blessed to have you with us. Join us next week when we talk about love of significant others. And join us every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Until then, we love you. Stay safe, wear a mask, get vaccinated, and we will see you next week. Bye.